GarageBand, GarageBand Weekly, GarageBand, GarageBand Weekly, GarageBand, GarageBand Weekly. Ooh. Need an answer to your question? John, he'll have a suggestion. He's a fountain of all knowledge. I think he might have gone to GarageBand College. What he doesn't know, we'll try and find out. So join the chat and give him a shout. Hey, John. Hey, John. GarageBand Weekly.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome into GarageBand Weekly here on Studio Live today. And yes, it is Songtember 2025, so we're doing some Songtember-y kind of stuff here on the show this week. If it's your first time around here, my name's Pete Johns. This is Studio Live today. My goal here is to help you create, record, and release your best music, and we do that through tutorial videos, tips and tricks, and live streams, and a weekly showcase called Your Music Live, which we did yesterday, and it was very, very rad. We had some great artists and an amazing featured artist, a cat named Vienna. So if you've missed that, the good news is the replay is available for you right now. You can jump down into the channel, subscribe, and then the previous live stream was Your Music Live. But today, GarageBand Weekly, and we're talking about all things GarageBand, Logic Pro, Apple, but with a sprinkling of home recordings and technology and news and notes from around the world as well. And we do it live here each and every week with our wonderful crew of live supporters, such as the wonderful Thomas Christ, Mark Bro, Jenny Jolivet, Jamie Lynn, the lovely Jade Star, Brad Example, g'day to you. Hello, Emilio, our latest patron. Yes, you can join the Patreon. I'm sure Thomas Christ is linking the slings as we speak. G'day to Leela, who I think is out driving, not driving and typing though. Country Walking's here as well. And the Mix Club. Mix Club's here just for the bowls, I'm sure. All right. Good to see you all. Dan Ekberg Music is here as well. Thank you, Dan, for joining us. Al Davis Music is also here. And if you are here and you do have questions, we are interactive. I'm here live. I'm a real person. I'm a human. I'm not run by algorithms, except I do have to bow down to the algorithms. Speaking of bowing down to algorithms, I'm live on Jade Star's show this week. We're doing an odd couple rant, and we're talking all things YouTube. YouTube have made some, shall we say, interesting decisions over the last couple of years, and we're going to talk about them. The good, the bad, the ugly, and the everything in between. So if you too think that YouTube is just trying to be like a cross between TikTok and Twitch right now, then you're going to be able to hear me rant about it. And look, Thomas is just so quick onto it. It was only put together yesterday and Thomas already knows about it. Hello, Rena. Hello, Denise. Making progress? Yes, do it. Get it done. Slings linked. Nicely done. Yeah, so how are you going with your Songtember? I would love to get your feedback, your comments, your concerns. I know a couple of folks yesterday when we were talking were saying they're having a bit of a hard time getting motivated and getting started. And look, that's why we got a whole month. I came out of the gates. Day 3, I was like, this Songtember thing's going to be a piece of piss. I'm going to have it all done by the 10th. And guess what? It's the 9th and I don't have it all done. So, yeah, sometimes you'll start and then you'll stop and then you'll start and then you'll stop. And sometimes life gets in the way. So, yeah, and again, the internet loves hearing an old man talk about, challenges and ailments and things. But, yeah, I had a cold to start Songtember. Gave that to my wife, so she's got it now. And then, twinged my back, which is feeling about 200% better today. I actually slept all night last night. So I'm energized. I'm caffeinated, and we are ready to rock and roll. Let's dive in before we get into the Songtember stuff and talk about some news and notes, because guess what? We got ourselves an Apple event tomorrow. Yeah, it is Apple's yearly September event, and what are we going to see? Well, iPhones. iPhones we're going to see. Maybe AirPods. Maybe Apple Watch. So it's usually your small portable stuff. So it's your this. It's your iPhone, it's your iPhones, it's your watches, and it's your AirPods, of which I'm a user of all of them. I always have at least one pair of AirPods, my Apple Watch, and an iPhone or two within arm's reach. So this is, while it's not an exciting event, it's kind of like, how would you explain it? It's like eating fiber. No one loves having a big bowl of bran, but if you don't have it, you won't be regular. Okay, that's a bad analogy, but it's like the essentials, yeah? It's like when you go shopping. Let's go with that. Instead of being a bit scatological, let's go with shopping. Like, you go to the shops and you got to buy the bread and the milk and the eggs and the rice and the pasta and the tomato sauce and the boring stuff, right? And then you go to that cool, funky aisle where you buy some, oh, like it's a kimchi flavored chocolate. I'm going to try that. So this is the bread and milk and eggs of Apple events, because it's not going to be fancy new hardware. It's not going to be fancy new chips. It's going to be, as Mark says, iPhones and iOS 26, and not much. And we already know most of iOS 26 because they launched and announced all that at WWDC earlier in the year. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see how we go. Alrighty, so what have we got? So the event is tomorrow. So by this time tomorrow we'll know all about it. I know that Jade's doing a live stream talking about it at the time. I'm not. So here's an indication that it's going to actually be the best one ever, and they're going to announce a really cool, like, one more thing, some cool thing that John's really wants and he wasn't really paying attention to. Because when I look away, when I have something else to do, that's when Apple jump in and they do something really, really cool. And they launch something amazing like, oh, we're putting an M series chip in an iPad. And I'm like, what? So expect the M5 iPad Pro foldable tomorrow is what I'm saying about that. Look, there'll be stuff. It'll happen. There's links down in the description if you want to go over. MacRumors.com is actually a great resource and probably my favorite resource for this sort of stuff. So the AirPods Pro 3, so Apple plans to release 2 distinct AirPods Pro 3 models. Both models will have upgraded audio and noise cancellation, and one offering health features. So Apple, if you didn't know, are going all in on the health side of things. And with AirPods, when they talk health, they talk not only sort of noise reduction and sort of earplug type functionalities, they're also talking about hearing aid, because if you don't know, the US recently passed a law where over-the-counter hearing aid devices can be sold without prescription and without an audiologist, which is a good thing, but is also a bad thing, because some people that probably desperately need actual professional quality grade hearing aids are like, well, I'll just whack in some AirPods and hope for the best. But hey, it's probably better than doing nothing. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see. The iPhone 17 is expected to feature a slimmer design, a lighter build, and potentially new colours. Ooh, a different kind of grey. Ooh, Apple, do go on. They may introduce an upgraded camera and maybe a next generation display. So the displays on the 15s, 16s haven't really been changed much. So new displays will be interesting. And we're expecting that they'll tell us that you can pre-order today and be available on insert date here. We're thinking something like September 16 or September 23, depending on production cycles. And the big question around all this stuff is, what will the prices be? What will the prices be of this stuff? Will the T word or the T word, T words, we don't say those T words around here, will they have an impact on the pricing? And the short answer is probably yes, but not as much as it should. So there is no doubt that Apple need to make higher retail margins over the next year. With all the uncertainty, with all the horrible things going on in the world, they will need to ensure that they're protected. I know, let's all feel sorry for the $3 trillion company, but there's shareholders. Let's be honest, shareholders really do run things these days. So the shareholders will expect Apple to continue to make the sort of return on investment that they have been, and if they don't, they will punish them by reducing their share price. But what does that mean for Apple? Are they going to just pass on all the wholesale? No, they will absorb some of it. So it'll be a sort of halfy thing. So I think what you'll see is, instead of them being able to do what they've been doing recently, which is keep prices the same or reduce them, I think best case scenario, you'll see similar prices to previous years. And what they normally do is they kind of give you a reduction. So they in previous iPhones, they've increased the base level storage and kept the price the same. So that's basically giving you a discount, yeah? So the prices are actually going down on this stuff because of economies of scale, because they can make a lot more of them. with the problems that we're having at the moment in the world economy, they can't really do that. So I'm thinking that if the base storage goes up, the price will also go up. And I'm thinking maybe $100 because I think that's what people will wear. If the price goes from $7.99 to $8.99, not a huge thing. If it goes from $7.99 to $11.99, if they pour in all of those additional production costs, I think they've got a big problem. I think people are going to be hesitant to upgrade if they've got a 14, 15 or 16 anyway, and I think they are going to have zero chance of getting a lot of upgraders if the price is substantially higher, especially since the price of the iPhone 16 has currently dropped. So if you don't really care about maybe new camera or maybe slightly better screen, the time is now to get yourself an iPhone 16 because they are reduced. They're running them out. So there will be stock of those. Exactly. Shareholders are indeed a protected class. Do not forget it. I know it will be the most stunning and slim iPhone ever. 50% faster than and that's the thing, folks. Like, watch Jade, watch my coverage of this stuff, because if you watch the Apple... Look, I love you, Apple. If I had to pick my favorite $1 trillion plus company in the world, it'd be Apple. Because they do at least, they have a veneer of caring. And I think there's genuinely people at Apple that do actually care. They are actually reducing the amount of things used in their products. They are actually trying to become completely carbon neutral by 2030 and making steps and progress towards that. Other companies paying lip service. They are actually trying to protect privacy. They're not selling off your data to third-party data brokers, at least not now. And hopefully that won't be a case in the future. Whereas other companies are absolutely 100% comfortable with wholesale sale of your data and updating terms of service to get access to more of your data and control more of what you put on their platforms. 17 cameras, you reckon? The iPhone 17, we're going to celebrate it by adding 17 cameras. I still think the dark horse, if there was a 99 to 1 shot, I would say they're going to call it the iPhone 26. I just want them to do that. I don't know. I want everything to be uniform. I want to be running macOS 26 on my Mac Pro 26. I want an iPhone 26 and an iPad 26. I just want everything to be 26. You know why they won't? Because in 27... no one will want to be seen dead with a 26, right? It's like when you're driving a new car. It's why car manufacturers are releasing the 2027 Chevy Roundabout truck. And it's like, why? It's 2025. And it's like, no, because they brand them a year or two in advance so that when it gets to there, you still feel like you got a new truck. Trucks for the win. Maybe the iPhone 17 and 17 Pro will cost the same price as the 16 and 16 Pro. Well, that's another really good thing, because what they do, and that's a good point, Emilio, what they do is they tend to do exactly that. They keep the previous one as part of the range. So I think we'll definitely see that. Maybe some official, because at the moment the price reductions are just at like Amazon and Best Buy and stuff. So we might see some official price reductions as well. Hello, Mother Skunk. Hello, Clayton Von Kluge. Thanks for being here. So what about the iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max? Maybe there's rumors of maybe like a larger display size. They're probably still going to keep the titanium construction, which is very nice. I don't have the Pro this year, but I had the Pro last year, and the titanium definitely has a different feel to it. Again, if feel could be a thing you need in your phone. And again, camera. The camera is going to be better. That's the headline, right? The headline is Apple released new iPhone with slightly different camera. It's kind of like that Simpsons thing where it's like the Game Station 256. He's like, I'm here with this stupid Game Station 252. And like Bart throws his old console in the fire because the 256. And it's like, yes, I'm looking at you, PlayStation 5 Pro. Yeah. If Apple started being, if Apple started being normal about storage, I'd have all Macs. Yeah, look, we could go down a rabbit hole, couldn't we? And it's fun to go down rabbit holes, but yes, the cost of storage and the fact that the storage is all integrated into the M series chips now means you kind of just got to pay full tote odds when you buy a new Mac or a new anything, new iPad, new iPhone, because yeah, upgradable storage is not a thing. And yeah, you know what? You can plug in, I've got Thunderbolt ports on Macs and you can plug in. It's just not the same, the way that the Mac file system works. And hey, maybe this will improve. Maybe macOS 26 will improve the way this is managed, but it's not like you can just daisy chain up a couple of external SSDs via Thunderbolt and the Mac will treat them as internal storage. That would be rad. That's the future. That would be my thing that I'd need, because then all of us that bought the original Mac Mini with 256 gig of storage, if you could just plug in a terabyte in via SSD Thunderbolt, and you suddenly got a 1.2 terabyte Mac Mini, that would be good. But the way the Mac works is it just demands that it stores all of its stuff on its own internal drive, and yeah, unless you're just using it for external data storage, no bueno. No 17 Plus though, replaced by iPhone Air. So yeah, that would be interesting. So the 16 Plus that I'm currently rocking, this may be a collector's item, the last 16 Plus in the world. Yeah, if you are a bit behind, that's okay. But yeah, good tip. Hit the little live button. So there's a little red dot, little live button there. You can hit that. G'day, Mr. Fomiati. I hope you are doing well, my friend. I hope you're all doing exceptionally well here on this, the 9th day or 8th day of Songtember. Oh yeah, right. Are you people trying to trigger me? Are you trying to make sure we don't get to any of the music stuff? Yes, right to repair. I know. I remember the days. My first smartphone was a Nokia E6. No, it was a Palm Trio. I went Palm Trio, Nokia E61, Nokia E72. The Palm Trio was awesome. It had completely replaceable batteries. It had SD card storage that you could just add however much storage you wanted to it. It had a stylus. Remember styluses? Before Steve Jobs says, "No, I think it's fine." Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, that thing was rad, and like completely customizable. Palm OS installed. You could side load any app you wanted to, which meant it was really easy to brick your phone if you didn't know what you were doing. But yeah, it was cool. And then the Nokias, same sort of deal. Like they were smaller, slimline, but yeah, replaceable batteries. You could have a second battery. Like, forget about your chargers. Like, you could just swap out. Oh, I've just got my spare battery here. If my phone goes flat and I don't have a charger handy, whoop, 2 minutes, new phone, 100% charged. Crazy. BlackBerry. Yeah, I never went down the BlackBerry route. By the time I had a job that provided me with a phone, they said, "Oh, John, this job gives you a mobile phone." I'm like, "Do I have to have it? Does that mean you can ring me anytime you like?" And they're like, "Yes, you do. Do you want a BlackBerry or do you want an iPhone?" And I'm like, "That's a question? That's still something that people ask?" BlackBerry Curve. Yeah, what do they have? The Curve and the Berry and the Bold and the Slow. I don't know. Yeah, I think everyone had their Nokia. If you're over the age of 40, you had a Nokia at some point, or a Nokia at some point in your lifetime, didn't you? All right, shall we get into... So, yeah, I had the Razr, the Motorola... The golf game on the Motorola Razr, I played so much. I played the crap out of that on the bus and other places. But yeah, loved the Motorola Razr. So that's your news and notes, and we're now going to dive over into the iPad and play around with some music, because if you're just joining us, here's what I prepared earlier. If you missed yesterday's show, which was a little quick stream that we did after Your Music Live, we did some setup. So we came in here and we labeled all of our tracks. Here's a few tips for you folks. Label your tracks. So make sure that you name your tracks. Otherwise you are going to forget. I've only got 13 tracks in this project. I'm still forgetting which ones are which. This didn't. Oh no. Did I load the wrong one? Did I not save yesterday? Oh. I just had a panic attack right there. I opened the wrong project. I opened version 4. This is a good thing about version control, because, yes, I have version 4, which was before we renamed it. Let's open version 5 and, phew, okay. See how we named all these tracks? So these are all the voice samples at the start here. We've got my left guitar, right guitar, bass. We've got the placeholder drums that Jade Starr provided. We've got our original Anders drummer here. We've got my lead vocals. We've got my backing vocals. We've got these little whispered vocals. And we've got this, which I didn't name. So we'll do that now. We'll just rename this, because this was lead guitar ideas. So rename Git lead ideas. I'm going to put ideas because it never really worked. It wasn't really anything. So this is ready to go. We will save out of it. Now, if you want to convert a GarageBand project to a Logic Pro project, what should work, and we're about to find out. I haven't tried it with this project yet, but especially if you haven't, like me, the reason I don't use a whole bunch of fancy plugins and third-party stuff is that it makes the transfer process really simple. So going from GarageBand to Logic Pro is easy if you haven't used a bunch of additional stuff. And even if you have, it'll usually do a pretty good job of bringing it on over. So this is my project file. All we need to do now is actually jump on over and go into Logic Pro. So let's load up Logic Pro, not Loopy Pro, but Logic Pro. By the way, I saw a question before. We will get to questions in a sec. What was I doing last time I was in Logic Pro? Let's find out. Just to do a quick audio test. What was I doing? You know what I was doing. I was checking out the new sound pack. So yes, there is a brand new sound pack. If you haven't checked out the Visions sound pack, it's actually pretty rad. If you do sound design, if you do soundscapes, I'm looking at the likes of Hypnotic Transmissions and Scribbles in our community here. Yeah, there's some great sounds in there. Very nice. Hello, Velthra. Yeah, see, Mark knows. Mark knew before I did. And hello, Hugo Vieira. Good to see you, my friend. Good to have you all here. So what do we need to do? Well, we need to open up this project. So we're going to go to the location that I saved this, which I believe is in my Studio Live Today folder, Songtember 2025. And it should be as simple as just opening this project. So it gives us this. Open GarageBand song. Opening a song in GarageBand will create a duplicate and it will convert it into appropriate Logic, a compatible Logic project. So all you need to do is hit continue and it's going to create a copy and bring it here into Logic Pro, which it has done. And this is what is happening here. So we've got all of our tracks here, including our drummer track there that we had muted, including Jade's sort of tested drums here that we brought into the track. And it should sound exactly the same as it did in GarageBand. There are a couple of differences that you will notice when you do this. The main one is that Logic Pro, for whatever reason, does not support sections. So the song sections that we had in GarageBand, even though we only had one actually, because I didn't really use sections in this one, but if you've like set up all your sections and you love arranging by moving things around and flying, oh, I want to put the bridge here instead of here, Logic Pro doesn't make it as easy to do that. So as we work through this project, I will show you what I tend to do, which is to use something. Oh, it's cropped weirdly. Hold that thought. One moment, please. We'll come back over here. This is the joy of using these cheap-ass HDMI to USB adapters. Jade knows exactly what I'm talking about here. They work until they don't, and then sometimes they're working perfectly, and you've got all your aspect ratio all set up, and then you turn it on the next time, and it's a completely different resolution. And there's no rhyme or reason, but if you buy the expensive ones, they don't work because how do I put this? The HDMI standards sometimes say that you shouldn't be able to actually live stream your iPad screen. But there's ways, as long as you it's like the old DVD days. Remember when you used to buy those DVD players that had the multi-region thing? But again, it's weird, it's stupid because Apple don't care. Like they've said, they don't care about me streaming my iPad screen. They like me doing it. Yet the HDMI standard doesn't allow for it. So it's the HDCP protection. And some of it is Apple, some of it's put in place so that you can't do things like stream Netflix, but that's all blocked at the software level anyway. So yeah, they don't want you streaming Netflix or streaming ESPN or Disney Plus and recording that on a separate device. But when you're using just a music app, it shouldn't be a problem. But because of the HDCP that's built in, and they could choose not to put it, but then they wouldn't have any protection at all. Anywho, I say all that to say, if you want to send your things, go to eBay or Amazon and buy the it's between $10 and $20, the little sticks called HDMI to USB, you'll be able to plug in and you'll be good to go. Anyway, let's go back to where we were. Here is our project and we're going to listen to it. So The first 4 bars here are just a little intro that we had. So if we play this.
I think the majority of people don't enjoy the majority of the time they spend making music.
There's those double kicks.
I got a lot to say, where do I start?
So yeah, and if you are aware, we tried to write some vocals in a recent show. That didn't quite work out right, but I didn't want that because vocals you can change basically up to the very last vocal take. So I've decided what I used to do is make sure that I could like have everything 100%. So I'd have the vocals 100% written at the point where I have my demo. I'm like, a demo song's not done until the vocals are all written. Where I've realized in recent times, the lyrics are written, realized in recent times that as long as you bed down the song structure, the arrangement, and even that you can tweak as you go along. If something really doesn't work and you really want to add in something, you can. But the important things I think at this stage are to lock in things like your tempo, because once you start messing with tempo, if you've got real recorded instruments, it doesn't work. And the key that you're playing in, because same deal. Don't ever go, oh, I'll just transpose it. No. If you're going to change the key, re-record your parts. So if I find that I actually want this to be a tone higher, and I'm going to capo everything, or I'm going to change it up, I'm going to re-record them. And I'm going to re-record them anyway here in Logic Pro because a couple of reasons. The settings that we have here have all come across from GarageBand. So to show you what I mean by that, let's grab, say, this guitar. And if we go to the plugins here, you can see here that it's using its own different settings. So it's using the amp designer here, and it's got a lot more settings in the amp designer for Logic Pro. The Logic Pro guitars are significantly not better, but more customizable. So you can tweak things a lot more here than you can in GarageBand. And you'll see here it's got things like the platinum verb on here and the channel EQ. This is to sort of emulate what I've brought across from GarageBand. The other thing that's maybe a trap for young players is that, see now, I'm so used to GarageBand now that I'm here in Logic Pro going, what do I do again? You might notice that there's these buses set up. So what GarageBand does is it has an echo or a delay and a reverb that are a master echo and a master reverb, and they are supported here in Logic Pro because Logic Pro uses buses, sends and receives to actually have that. So they have these buses set up here, and what you'll see is any of these that have stuff sent to these buses are where I had some sort of the master reverb or master delay on the original track. So I can keep those, but I could tweak these if I wanted to. If I wanted to change what these are, at the moment it's using platinum verb and it's using just the standard echo. I can use any other plugin that I want on those and keep them. So it just kind of gives you a bit of a head start. It sets up your delay and your reverb. And if you wonder why you'd want to do that, as opposed to just putting it on every track, it just means that, especially for reverb, if you've got a bunch of different instruments and you want to send them all and have a fairly similar room sound for a whole bunch of different guitars and maybe your drums and your vocals, you can actually send a little bit of all of those tracks to a reverb that's set up as a bus. And then if you want to tweak it, you do it in one place. You don't have to go to each individual track. So it's just the two different ways that you can add things. Here in Logic Pro, you get both ways. So you can see you've got all of your inline plugins that are set up here on each track, but then you've also got your bus sends down here that send out to these two reverb and delay tracks. The other benefit, of course, is we've now got a stereo out track, which is awesome, and our master volume track, so we can actually add plugins to the master. We can use the Logic Pro mastering to do like quick and dirty mastering just to hear what it's going to sound like as a mastered track, and we have a lot better control over our overall volume because you would have noticed in GarageBand, everything was cranked up a heap. It was all like through the roof. And if I'd exported those, and again, this is just another tip for those using GarageBand, right? Let's just go back to GarageBand and I'll show you what I mean about this. So I'm trying to inject a little bit of education back into this because I know a lot of folks get mixed up with releasing songs and then don't know why they sound great when they play them here in GarageBand, and then as soon as they send them out and have a final mix or mastered version, they sound distorted, they sound clippy, they sound pumpy. The reason for that is it's just too. It's like Huey Lewis in Back to the Future. It's just too darn loud. So let's just go to like a really loud section of the track and play it.
Hey, you don't talk for me. Hey, 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 you don't talk for me.
See how we're hitting that? It got the leave behinds right at the top. That is going right up to the very highest level volume. And what you're going to find is when you export this, you get really weird sort of ducking. It sounds like bad side chaining because every time a snare or it's usually snares or a bass drum, kick drum actually hit, that's when it actually limits it. So it pushes down the highest volume. And look, it does this to protect you from yourself. So what it's trying to do is say, instead of going over volume and getting all distorty, we're actually going to turn down the volume. So what happens is, instead of having those really punchy snares and kick drums that cut through your mix, they actually they reduce the volume of those. So it's having the exact opposite impact. A couple of things you can do is you can either reduce the volume of each individual track until your little lines there are no longer peaking, and that will help. Or there's the FX trick. Let's show the FX trick here. So the FX trick means you just add the FX track, you come in here, you go to the visual EQ, and you turn down the volume. It's simple. It's easy as. And now if we play back,
Hey,
see how low it is?
hey, you don't talk for me.
If we want to adjust it, just drop it down. Now look at it.
I got some words, but they ain't written yet.
Yep. And as Emilio says, it's usually the kick drum. So it's either the kick drum or a really loud snare that's going to make it super pumpy. So that's the trick for here in GarageBand. In Logic Pro, it doesn't matter because you can do the same thing in Logic Pro simply by grabbing your stereo out and turning it down. So if we're playing this in Logic Pro, whoa, we've had our first crash, people. There you go. We've crashed Logic Pro. Let's go back into it. Yes, and this is not even my iPadOS 26. This is my iPadOS 18 version. But you will get crashes. Guess what? It's technology. It'll crash sometimes. Excuse me. But yeah, we can turn down our overall master volume.
Coming at us with your artificial heart. You say we shouldn't bother to create when you're stealing from
And the good thing about Logic Pro is here in the mixer, because you have a dedicated mixer, it will tell you when you're clipping. And you can put a limiter on your master bus to make sure you don't clip, which does a much better job than the auto limiting or the auto normalization in GarageBand. But you can see there, just by reducing the volume of our stereo out,
people you hate. Trust the robots, they always got your back. You push the algorithms, they're about to crack.
so you can make sure that you're not getting up to 0 dB. You want this one to preferably be in the green before you start mastering, but definitely be in the yellow, definitely not have any red. Because if I bring this back up and start playing,
Your machines are holding all of the cards.
it's getting very
Creating
close.
music is just too hard.
It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of practice.
So I would definitely want a little bit more room there so that you can then go and do some additional mixing. And yeah, you'll see here, like it gives you these little dots here to show you that where your individual tracks are too loud and also where your overall mix is too loud. So to me, that is the number one thing that Logic Pro does better than GarageBand. If GarageBand is still, don't let me tell you that GarageBands, or don't let anyone tell you GarageBand you can't make good music. You just need to use a couple of those workarounds and hacks to get out a version that you can then master or remaster within GarageBand. If you let GarageBand just do its thing and trust it that it's going to sound good, you'll get clipping or you'll get pumping. So you do want to spend a little bit of time tweaking it there. But the advantage, if you're thinking, why would I pay my $5 a month for Logic Pro? Because yes, the Logic Pro for iPad does cost you extra. It is $49 per year or $4.99 per month. And that's US dollars. I pay more because I'm in Australia. I had the privilege of paying more. But the number one benefit is having the mixer and especially having a master track because you just get so much better visibility of what's going on. And having sends and receives, and there's a bunch of other things. Obviously, you got the cool features like the stem splitter. You got the auto drummer and the pianos and the bass that can work and sound really cool as well. So we'll listen to the whole track as it stands. Now we do have these drums in here. Jay's continuing to work on the drums, so we're going to re-engage Anders over here just for a little while, just so we can hear the drums the whole way through. But they will be being improved over time. But we'll do that at the end of the show. So we'll jump back over here and answer any questions. Turn down the master volume and turn off the... so that's the thing. That's a good point. The limiter is on by default as well. So Emilio has an excellent point here, which we'll just show you before we finish off here. So you'll notice here on your stereo out, it auto turns on the limiter. So it'll protect you in the short term, but when you're doing your mixing, you generally want the limiter off on your master track. Otherwise, you won't know where your actual levels are because it will just boost everything to peak at 0 dB, which is not generally what you want. So good tip there from Emilio. Emilio. Thank you, Jamie Lynn. Yeah, what do you think of the song? It told me it needed to be created. I wanted to do something different. If you recall, on the very first episode of Songtember, I was playing around with some like acoustic ideas, and we were like, yeah, this one's rad, this one's lame, this one's not good. And then I'm like, and hear me out, I grabbed this audio sample from this person, and I was trying to think of a nice word for them, this person, and then we just rock out. And literally just like, I'm going to play a Grinspoon style drop D power chord that's going to be reminiscent of the closest thing it is for me that I've done before. It's kind of like the end of New Beginning. If you remember my song New Beginning, where it changed from your beginning starts now, and then it went doodle 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 doodle. Yeah, that's where it's at. There's no automation. Yeah, GarageBand only has automation for volume. So you can't automate your volume in GarageBand. You can't automate panning. You can't automate effects. You can't automate you can't do like filter sweeps and that sort of thing. So yeah. That is it. Hey, Scribbles. Peter's the one who helped me learn GarageBand so I could move to Logic. Peter's my door Sherpa. I helped you up the mountain of DAW progression. And I was talking about you, Scribbles, because have you checked out the new pack in Logic Pro, the Visions pack? I got a feeling there's going to be some Scribbles tracks that are going to have some of those amazing. Although I know you like to kind of have a bit more control over your sounds. You probably don't use them as much. But yeah, for people that want to make music like Scribbles makes, you've got some really, really cool Alchemy synth patches in there that are just guttural and crunchy and just good. Just great stuff. Indeed. Alrighty. Look, the GarageBand drum sound, especially Anders. So the Anders drum sounds are not great. But the other good thing is if you don't have, excuse me, if you don't have a Jade Star to play custom drums in for you, you can actually, when it comes across here with the drummer, you've actually got the full drum kit designer that you can then play with. So you can tweak each individual drum, which you can't do with the automated drummers in GarageBand. You'd have to do the trick where you split the drums, put them all on individual MIDI drum tracks, and then tweak each individual track from there. It's a pain. Whereas as soon as you bring it into Logic Pro, even if you're keeping with the auto drummer, you've got the complete ability to change up your kit however you like. So you can tweak it and you can change each drum kit piece. So it does make it a lot more useful, and you've obviously got a lot better effects, or at least a bigger range of effects to play with. So yeah. Logic Pro is super cool. And look, the limitation of the Logic Pro, you need some pretty good hardware So if you're using an older iPad or iPhone, basically you can get away with. So I use it on my iPad from 2020, iPad Pro 2020, which is the A12 series processor, and you can get away with it on that and the A13, A14, those sort of processors on your generic iPads. But things like the drummer and the bass player and the keys player, if you start cranking in a whole bunch of things, or you're using a bunch of like effects on a bunch of different tracks, you can run into challenges. So I'd say that, yeah. And I still think that you should learn GarageBand first. I think you should start with GarageBand and then move to Logic Pro. I think if you jump straight into Logic Pro, you will get overwhelmed. There are a lot of features in there, and it's not as hand-holdy as GarageBand is. GarageBand will 100% hold your hand. The difference between jumping into Logic Pro like this and being able to start a new project. Let's just close out of this one. So if you're here in Logic Pro and you want to start a project, you hit create project and you're here, and then you hit tracks, and then you're like, I don't really know which one I want here. And like it's just less easy because you're like, what if I just want a keyboard? I'll press MIDI, I guess. Oh goodness, where do I change? How do I change what the keyboard is? I've got Alchemy. What button do? So yeah, there's a lot in here, and once you learn it, it's not that hard. You're like, oh, I'll come in here. I'll come into my audio patches. I'll come in and change my instrument patches, and you got a heap of different cool options. But yeah, it is. It's a higher barrier to entry. Whereas GarageBand, when you started your GarageBand project, it's here. It's like, what do I want? I want a keyboard. All right, I'll press the keyboard. Well, where do I change it? Oh, I guess there's a big button in the middle here. Yeah, okay. Oh, there's the classical grand. Oh, no, not you, Siri. So, yeah, it is just, it's a lot easier to get started with GarageBand than it is with Logic Pro. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but if you want a steep learning curve, yeah, jump straight in. Who am I to tell you what to do? So you'll notice that we've now got, if we jump out here and we go back to my folder, where am I? I'm in the wrong spot. On my Studio Live today, Songtember 2025. So I've now got the version 5.band project, and I've got this one, which is the 2025 Logic X project. And so this is Logic Pro on the iPad. There is Logic Pro for Mac, and they say that there's round trip compatibility. There's really not. You can go from GarageBand or Logic Pro on the iPad to the Mac, and everything will be pretty good. But if you've got specific AUV3 plugins that you've downloaded separately and used on your iPad, they may not, and in fact usually are not, compatible. There's a few universal apps that have cross-compatibility, but don't rely on it, and 99% of the time those won't work, which is why I keep things stock. I know, at the frustration of Jade and others, I use stock plugins most of the time. And look, one of the main reasons I do that is because of this. So you mentioned patrons can access your GarageBand projects for remix in the past. Does that extend to YouTube members? So yes, I will. So patrons have had access in the past to remix things. This is going to be available to anyone who supports me on the membership platform or on Patreon. So what I do is I put it onto a Google Drive folder. I give you the whole project. I send you the link. You can download it and you can throw it into your own system and do what you want with it. So yeah, you will have full carte blanche to do that. And because we've now kind of got these two streams, because some people just didn't want to use Patreon. They don't like the Patreon system. They want to keep everything within YouTube. So they're a YouTube member. Some people are both because they're double rad. But yeah, both members and patrons, I'm going to open up this project to you all so that you can do remixes. Because, last year, Mars Capone did the epic remix of my song Learn. The 2 years before that, eventually Thomas Christ did his remix of Work in Progress. And I think Thomas also, you do a version of Hold On, I think, that you've tweaked up, that you've played on your live shows. Jade's messed about with my projects and my songs a heap of times. I want to open it up. And again, look, Spotify is making me do it anyway, because apparently Spotify are going to let you remix my songs now. So I'm beating them to it. I'm owning it. I'm letting you have access to it so you can have at it. Have at it 100%. Yeah, you can do that. You can become a channel member. You can join me on all the things. You're buying me Rhino for this? Yeah, you can buy me Rhino if you want to. But there'll have to be a version that people can use. So there'll have to be a stock mix that I can actually share with folks, because that's the one thing I've always made sure I've done is whenever I'm sharing a project, you can use it 100% stock, which has been a slight detriment to the quality of my projects in the past, a little bit. But I want to make sure that you don't need to spend money on $20, $30 plugins if you want to play around with my tracks. So, but yeah, feel free to do it. Jade will just do it. She'll just put Rhino on there and send it back to me and say, right, I've fixed your guitar tones, Johns. Now you have to you have to use it. Alrighty. Drum kit designer for acoustic drums and drum machine designer, track stack for electric drums, and your own sample drums. Yeah, there's lots of cool stuff there. Low snare drum sounds all day. There you go. A few minutes ago when you read the second comment, for some reason you almost sound like Scar from the Lion King movie. Do I? Scar from the Lion King. Is that that guy that talks like that? I can't remember what Scar sounds like from the Lion King movies. I'm thinking of the lion from Robin Hood. Oh, Mummy. Yes, Your Highness. How good was the Disney Robin Hood movie with like the foxes and the lions and the playing the soccer? Oh man, I'm gonna go watch that today. Find GarageBand desktop. You can increase or decrease the kick. Yeah, you can. So GarageBand desktop version has a lot of. In fact, we saw on YML yesterday someone. It was Matt, I think, Surefoot Stumbler, who showed us his GarageBand project in one of his songs. And yeah, he was doing all sorts of cool things with the tempo track. Yeah, so there's GarageBand iOS is definitely a stripped down version of GarageBand for Mac and doesn't have all the bells and whistles. So yeah, and that's the way a lot of folks go, is if you start with GarageBand, say on your phone or your iPad, and then people will either get themselves a higher end iPad and move into Logic Pro, or they'll move to Mac and they'll move to GarageBand Mac, because you don't want to go GarageBand iOS to Logic Pro Mac. That's going to be a weird transition. But because GarageBand Mac's free anyway, and you can pull all your GarageBand iOS projects into Mac, and it's got a bunch of additional features. And if you want to learn about Mac, I've got a few videos here, but go look at Patrick's videos. Patrick has so much content for GarageBand for Mac, and it hasn't really changed a lot. The good news for us folks that cover GarageBand either on iOS or Mac is it hasn't really changed that much over the last like 5 years. So yeah, even if you find a video of mine that is 5 years old, it's probably going to still be pretty relevant. I seen the live stream when I woke up, and oh yeah, hello. Yes, Tonic Chills was on Your Music Live yesterday. Hello to you. Hello. Good to have you on board here. Question from Rena. When again is your deadline for getting our song? Yeah, good question. Let's talk about that, because we will be doing a Your Music Live show, which is going to be, we'll see what the numbers are like, but we'll probably do what we did last year, which was Mark's wonderful suggestion of doing 2 shows. It's going to be actually on the 5th or 6th of October, depending where you are in the world. So you kind of got a buffer zone. So what we'll likely do is close off submissions on probably the 2nd of October. So give you a couple of days buffer, which will mean that I can pull together the playlists for the shows and do them on the 5th and the 6th. So I haven't completely and look, if you finished it on the 3rd or even the 4th, and you send me a message, yeah, we can probably sneak you in. But I aim for the 30th of September, obviously, because it's Songtember. But if you're still going on the 1st or the 2nd, you need 48 hours more just to finish off your song and then submit it. Go ahead and do it. And you can actually submit it now. I don't recommend you do it now, but if you go to studiolivetoday.com/ let's just make sure, SYMLST. I just make sure it's still actually set up before I tell you you can go here. But yes, oh look, it hasn't been updated yet because it's still showing the 2024 edition. But it will go to the same form because I just reuse it. So that'll update to 2025 edition. But yeah, just hold on to your, look, if you finished your song on the 8th of September, you might want to spend a bit more time. Not that you couldn't do it if you had nothing else to do and you just crushed it out. yeah, no problem. But the idea of Songtember is to take your time, work through it, like, not overthink it, but make sure that you've got it done the best that you can. All right. I'll see if we've got. Where are we? Who is Patrick? Patrick is Patrick from the GarageBand Guide. Sorry, Patrick. Oh man, I always try to not do the voices. Our GarageBand project saved in the Google Drive link posted within Patreon in the description of the live shows. Yeah. So Amelia, you're a new patron. What I should do, I don't know how you do this on Patreon, but I think there's a link, like a way that you can do like a static link thing that actually has access to it. What I should do is set up a special Patreon only the patrons know that links into the Google Drive separately. But send me an email, mate, and I will send you the links until we get that sorted out, because we've kind of done it. There's a few different folders in there that have a few different things from the past, but the one that is best is the GarageBand, is the complete album. So my 2018 album, I've got the complete projects of all 11 songs that patrons had access to at the time. So you're welcome to have those. So am I working on this song today? Yes, I will be doing a little bit on it today, but I do need a rest because I'm kind of exhausted. But yeah, I'll be playing around with it today. So, but we don't have. See, until I have your drums, Jade, I'm not going to record the final version of the guitars. But what I do want to do is actually work on the lyrics. So if any, as we listen to this, as we finish the show today, if you have ideas for the lyrics, please let me know, because at the moment, they're kind of rough. They're a little bit rough. All righty. Yeah, if you have any final questions or comments, please let me know. We do have the wonderful Frank Terzo live at the moment. So if you're watching this one live, I'm going to drop a link here and just let you know that Frank is up next. Whoop, whoop. So you can go over to say g'day to Frank and the crew. Let's do a quick live look in and see who's on the show here at the moment. We'll jump on over there. Oh, look, there we go. There's the crew.
I have nothing new to show, and maybe I'm dried up, and maybe it's going to be a waste of time.
We got Ed Pettit or Ed Petit, Folk Punk, and Frank Terzo. The OGs, the OG crew over there. All right, so drums will be done today, and I'll be showing how to split and mix them on my member stream tomorrow. Excellent, there you go. A good reason to become a member of Jade's stream. So yeah, don't forget tomorrow. Tomorrow's a big day because Jade has her usual live show. Thomas Christ does his Make It Rock. If you're a member of Jade's YouTube channel, you can watch the live stream, and it looks like you'll get to see a little bit of the drum work in Logic Pro, so that you can see how Jade splits out the drums so that they're all in a nice drum stack, and I can pull them into this project and have complete control over each individual drum kit piece, which is not the easiest thing to do. That's one thing I do hope Logic Pro fix, is the ability to have, because we cannot be the only people that want to have a nice stack of drums that has all of the pieces separated out. I would not think so anyway. It's Folk Punk's birthday today. There you go. And yes, and there's the Apple ore dropping event. Yeah, or dropping. It's like, come on, Apple. I guess that's okay. I'll let him have it. So I'll just make sure that I'm going to send you over to Frank after this show. I will be out and about. And look, if you remember, occasionally I pop up live. I'm actually going to be testing later today, live streaming from the phone again. I still haven't fixed my microphone, so I'm either going to be shopping for a new microphone, and yes, I keep hearing the DJI wireless mic, either the what's the light version or the pro version. So I'm going to walk into the city. I may get we've just had the Patreon, so maybe my patrons and members who supported me last month will be funding a new wireless mobile portable mic for me, because the JBL one's good. It does the job, but the clip broke on it, and I'm finding it really hard to fix it. And I kind of want one that uses a magnetic clip that I can put anywhere, as opposed to having to clip on my my shirt. So it can just be placed anywhere, because having it there is okay, but if you're wearing a shirt with a collar, or if you move your neck around, it kind of scratches a bit. So might be upgrading the microphone so I can do some more mobile streams because I'd love to wander around. I'm going to go see some ducks today. It's September. It's springtime. The sun's out. I saw my first ducklings the other day down by the river. So I do a lot of wandering around there, and I invite you along. I'll be working on my Song Timbers collab with Dan Egbert tomorrow on Make It Rock. Awesome. So you're going to get yourself some coolness, some cool Song Timber content. And then Leela has a Tuesday, Unlocking Melodies, How Scales Shape Music. It's all happening. Yeah, do make sure. And you'll find links to all the channels for all these folks. It's probably worth saying that if you go to studiolivetoday.com/songtember, let me just show you that website here because we have the technology. So studiolivetoday.com/songtember. There's the playlist with this video and all the other Songtember videos. You can check out the launch party. You can revisit last couple of years. You can join all the groups. And if you keep scrolling down, here's our friends of Songtember. You've got Jade Star, Thomas Christ, Lou Reality, Keon Rat, and Jamie Mallender. So make sure that you're subscribed to all those fine folks. Is this stream about putting stuff from GarageBand to Logic? Yes, that's what we did. We did that earlier in the show. So if you rewind or if you watch the replay, I showed you how to do this. And look, it's not hard. It was a pretty simple process. I just wanted to show that the couple of limitations and how some of those things work. When you go from GarageBand to Logic Pro, you do lose a few things. You lose your sections, your song sections, and you do lose your master effects, but all that happens with the master effects is that they're put over here into an echo and a reverb bus. But the benefits, of course, are you get yourself a stereo out track. So we're going to be able to play around with that, and I'm probably going to do a faders down mix of this today just to get it back into some semblance of order. You can see my panning there, like everything's much more visible here in the mixer because I can see my guitars pan left and right, and yeah, it just makes things a whole lot more visible for you here in Logic Pro for iPad. So let us go out now because we are at the end of the show. We are going to finish off. Yeah, don't forget, we've got the announcement from Apple tomorrow. I will be doing a video on it. I'm just not doing anything live. So I'm going to leisurely get up and have breakfast, have a coffee, watch the whole thing, and then put together my overview, which will probably be a 10-15 minute overview summary. So if you don't want to watch the whole thing live, yeah, you can look out for that video that'll be coming out around about this time tomorrow. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Hey, did you press the thumb button? I haven't asked you to for the whole show. I was trying to see if I could go an entire hour without doing it, but no, turns out 58 minutes is the maximum that we can go for. So please go ahead and hit the thumbs up button. And why don't we go out with this track? I'll play it back. I'll do a little tweaking on the mix here in Logic Pro for iPad, and we'll see how it goes. So thank you, folks, for being here. Thank you for all of your support. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. Keep creating. And happy Songtember. Let me know in the comments how your Songtember's getting on. All right, let's do this.
I think the majority of people don't enjoy the majority of the time they spend making music.
Got a lot to say, where do I start? Coming at us with your artificial heart. You say we shouldn't bother to create when you're stealing from the very people you hate. Trust the robots, they always got your back. You push the algorithms, they're about to crack. Your machines are holding all of the cards. Creating music is just too hard.
It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of practice. You need to get really good at an instrument and really good at a piece of production software. It's not really enjoyable to make music now.
Music is joy, and music is pain, but music is real, and music is life. Hey, 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 you don't talk for me. 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 I'm gonna say I just spit. Using prompts and getting over compressed. Like Napster downloads, I'm just not impressed. People gonna burn it all down. You thought we weren't gonna make a sound? We're coming at you with the force of humankind. Music will outlast all you bros this
The
time.
majority of people don't enjoy the majority of the time they spend making music.
Music is joy, and music is pain. Music is real, and music is life. Hey, 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 you don't talk for me. 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 Hey, hey, you don't talk for me. Hey, 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 you don't talk for me.
Mic drop at the end there. So yeah, that's where we're at the moment. Yeah, I think it's got potential. Considering we're day 9, it's the demo version, and if it sounds that good, and again, I'm going to give myself a little pat on the back because I think I took a risk with this one and I just threw it out there. I think it is going to work out well in the end, and it's getting something off my chest that I am getting very frustrated with. So we'll see how we go. Please pay special attention to the hey, you don't talk for me, because that's what we're going to be asking you to do. So a couple of days' time, I'll be putting that out there. I'll be giving folks about a week or so, maybe 5 days to do it. So if you want to be part of it, all you got to do is pull it in, or it'll just be a WAV file or a couple of WAV files, pull them into your DAW of choice, grab a microphone and sing along. All you're going to need to do is do, hey, you don't talk for me. And we're going to have a big gang vocal. Yes, the gang vocals to finish off the song. All right, folks, we are done ski. I'll see you over on Frank's show. That's all I've done here for now. I'll see you next time. Bye.